That's supposed to be a race boat, or is that just a regular all-round runabout?
It's just a runabout, race, fish, whatever you want. It just happened to how much power you put on it. Then I built, this is 18-footer, a Crosby design, and I built two of these. This was the first one, and then this was for a local artist and writer, a local artist in town, and there's launching it, stepping the mast. And then I built the second one, and I put a keel on it. This thing was tippy. I eventually fixed it but this one I put the keel on so it wasn't tippy. And it worked real well. It was down around Fort Myers. I hadn't seen it in years. It's probably gone, but who knows. I built two of these 17-foot outboards for a fisherman. Had a well in them. And it's this same hull, but with a windshield on it. And that's stubbing again.
And these are all at the airport where you're building these.
Oh, yeah. And then I had a fella came with me, and he had this 25-foot, he called it a Sharpie. Actually, it was a dead rise. It was from North Carolina, and it was ill-built out of everything. And he loved the boat. Cross plank, so the centerboard trunk leaked, and all we took the centerboard out and put a keel centerboard in, and we fixed it all up, and we made a raised deck out of it, and it went on and on, but we got her looking real good, and it sailed. The damn thing sailed good. And there's what she looked like. She was finished. And this is the second G-Loo when we launched it.
Now, was that for Maisie?
Yeah, and that's the one that's written up in the magazine.
And that's your daughter?
No, this is my mother.
Your mother, okay.
This is Big Maisie. There's the deck. Then in the rec hall, I built, this is a 33-foot sport fisherman. This was a 28-foot open sport fisherman. I don't have the better pictures are in there. And this was Jones Lament. It was a 22-footer, and that's that boat that's sitting right up there now.
Mm-hmm.
That was built in '62, and then they raced it one year, put a tower on it so it could race in that. And then I built, this is the second one, the same hull, and it's down on the waterfront. And at the same time, in that same period, '62, we were building Baby Doll. And this is she's primed. This is launching her down at the.
And those are all your designs.
Yeah. And she was designed to the old CCA rating rule, which was a nice rule. This is pictures of her sailing. And see, we had everything right. She had gold leaf on the front of the transom, and it was a classic boat, nice boat. It's still around now. Pat Ball's got it. We fixed it all up. Then we built windmills. It's 1960. That's Homer and Tony with his first windmill. He had two of them. And they had a big fleet of windmills here, and they were goddamn nice boats, you know.
They were fast.
Yeah, and then they let them make them out of fiberglass, and they jacked the weight way up and ruined them. This was the third G-Loo. It was a 16-foot sloop, and it was the little 14-footer was a little bit. It wasn't quite enough boat for my mother, so I built her. There was a Jewish gentleman come along on Christmas and had to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to step in his place, so I sold it for enough to build her this one.
Mm-hmm.
And she had this one for years. The fact is, my nephew still got it. This is a 22-foot that I designed and built that's in the background. And then this is one of her old friends that used to sail fish class, Jarvis Hardesty, and she's got one. She had the second one. And then I built Clark's Ark. This was the 34-foot. It's still up in Bradenton now. And that was for Charles Clark. And they're loading the windmills on top here. They're going up to Gulfport.
So this was like a houseboat.
It's a houseboat, and a very successful houseboat. Everybody loved it, and there it is, and there's the day it was launched. pictures of getting her jacked up. That's Cliff Bell jacking her up and getting her on the trailer, and we got her in. And we had a time getting her to the water, but there's Charles running it. Now this is the 33-foot Rincodon, which I made for Jeannie Clark, the shark lady.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that started the Cape Hayes Marine, and see, but I got this right up here. It says boat floats with the name Rincodon is misspelled. We had a colonel that was their business manager, and if you ever did business with a colonel, you know what you're up against. And I had him spell this name out over the phone 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it down right, but it was easy enough to change it. She had a door, took the door off, and the sign painter changed it. But that's typical military as far as I'm concerned. And then the old shop was a good airport manager up and died on us, and he got a yo-yo out of God knows where, and kept jacking her in. It wasn't putting maintenance on it. The buildings were old, you know, so it was time to get out of it. So I floated alone.
And that was in 68?
That was in 66.
66.
April of 66.
And that's your present shop where we are right now.
That's it. There was nothing across here. This was the first shop on this piece of property. There wasn't anything here. And the first boat we built in it was this, the Horizon. This is her stripped up here. I got some more pictures somewhere. This goes back to the first shop. That was the first windmill I built. And there's the windmills, you know, and that was I don't see a date on it, but it was way back then.
Well, how fast do you think a windmill could go? I mean, what would you think would be the fastest? Like
you get them on a plane and
15 or 20
I
even?
think they'd go at least 15. I remember one time they had a race down here in Hardy Kallenberg, had a catamaran, one of the small earlier catamarans, and it was shouting. And Homer and I think, you know Baby Huey.
Maybe, I don't know. Probably.
Hartnagel. Do you ever know Hartnagel?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, anyway, he had one, a great big guy. He went out and had a race, and of course the windmill run off left that catamaran. As soon as they come on a reach, that windmill come out, that was it. And a dory. I built 2 of these dories for Jim Crawford on his big boat, Angantia. This was the captain's gig, and it sat inside of a wooden workboat. This is the boat that we went on. I shipped them to Germany. This is the half model of the boat I built that.
Now, you built that boat, or?
No, she's steel.
Oh, that was
she was built in Abbotsford, Rasmussen.
Right.
No.
Pretty boat.
But I built the 2 dinghies and shipped them to Germany. She was built over in Germany. And Jim was I don't know if you know him, but he was been a yachtsman all his life, did a lot of sailing. And this is a picture when he had the Dirigo. He wrote a book, you may have read it or maybe not, called Count the Cats in Zanzibar. Pretty good. This is Mrs. Giordana. She was 70 years old, and I built her this little boat, put a little hardtop on it so she could take her friends out, and then they could play cards. And she ran it herself. She was quite a gal. And this is the Horizon. This was the 39-footer. That's the first one built in this shop.
And that's one you designed, or?
No, that was an Alden design. And it's up in Castine, Maine now, and that's great. The people had some nice owners. And
did you ever get to talk to the designer, or?
No. This is the Giordana boat. This is the inside of the Horizon. And the owner, there's a picture of her sailing. And she just barely fit in the hoist there, but that was okay. This is my mother dedicating it, and that's Mike Cross we built it for, and this is what she wrote. She said, broke champagne, and all went well.
So that you built for your mom?
No, I built this for Michael Cross.
Oh, okay.
Mom
Oh, okay.
was the one that christened it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't.
Yeah, and this is what she said when she christened it. So she wrote it out. And this was in the shop. You can see it's new, it's shiny, and me and one of the bankers. But that's not the banker I did business with. The banker I did business with, he later on went to jail. And this is
That's Red Marson. You know, he died.
Did he?
Yeah. I got a email from Charlie Morgan saying that Red died.
Just recent then.
Yeah, because I used to enjoy his article on sailing, and then before that, the St. Pete. Was that the St. Pete Times? Wasn't he the waterfront?
Times outdoor editor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well,
he was a great writer.
Yeah, we see the old Red every once in a while.
Well, he's the one who had all the sailing news. You know, you'd always look forward to his articles to have.
And this was a boat that I built the hull and put the decks on it, and this friend of mine finished it off there. She was there. And Henry Waite, that worked with me for years, this is the Lightning he built. And this was my first red boat, not why I owned it. It's sitting on top of the oyster bar, but nobody got hurt too bad.
What, you ran it up on the bar?
I didn't. I didn't own the boat at the time. No, somebody else did.
Oh, well, I've done that before.
I know. Well, this was just south of Siesta Bridge.
I think I ran up on that same bar.
Yep, it ain't hard to do. Well, this was at night.
Yeah, mine was at night, too. And it was like I was in a 34-foot boat, and we were going about 20.
Yeah, well, this thing, I think this one was probably balls to the wall.
Well, fortunately, it was like low tide. And so we just went to sleep, and when the tide came up, we just got off.
I built a 50-foot boat for a fella, and it was a nice boat, but the guy got to be pretty impossible. Well, he drove a Rolls Royce, and this was our local, our boat shop cap. That's Slimmy. He loved to sit up there and groom himself right on the front of the Rolls.
Didn't you build the Great White?
That's it.
This is the Great White.
It became the Great White later
on. And then
it
ended up belonging to Mrs. Moat or something.
The Moat, so he gave it to Moat.
Yeah.
They donated it to the boat or something. He was taking it down. And that's something about stone crab. That's another Red Marson showing what you can take. See?
Right?
Didn't he get that backwards?
Well, at least he tried.
Yeah, I know. Well, it may not have been his fault.
It sounds like a good story, you know?
Yeah. Then for Mike, we built 3 boats. This was the 3rd boat. This was the Emily.
And that was Mike who?
Mike Cross.
Oh, yeah, he's the one you built the
on the Horizon. He had 2 Horizons, Horizon 1 and Horizon 2. And this is a write-up Dorothy Stockbridge. She's an old friend from way back. These are just some old pictures from moth boats, one of the regattas. These are conglomeration of hand tools, grinders, sanders, you name it. This is some of the clamps, which you never have enough of.
That's a shaper?
That's a shaper. This is a real good Delta. They're all old. Delta unisaw with a big engine. This is a little sander that was my first shaper, and it's a Sears Roebuck, and it's pretty iffy. Real good cleaner. That is a sander, surface sander. And it's a Powermatic. A doctor friend bought it. I'm glad he did because the thing's a piece of junk. That's a great Yates American 18-inch planer.
Now, do you sharpen your own blades, or you have somebody else who does
the big
it?
ones I have to have it get done. The short ones I